Good for you.
All right.
So how long are you here till, May?
Unless the mayor kicks me out sooner.
It is 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 6:30. I'm looking at that clock down there and I forgot what military time looks like. Anyway, it is 6:30 on March the 12th, 2024. This is a regular city council meeting in the city of Rockport. I'll ask you to stand with us as we do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item on the agenda, I have a proclamation to read. Which is recognizing March 16th through 23rd.
Corn.
It's written down right there. I'll do it. Before we do any business, I'll take care of that. Thank you. Anyway, for Ranges Nature Fest Week. Whereas Nature Fest is an event that celebrates the tremendous benefits we find in our natural environment, Nature Fest is an opportunity to appreciate, promote, and explore the tangible and intangible value nature brings to our community, to educate our citizens on benefits of nature through information, programs, visual and physical experiences. And whereas nature provides us with essential benefits such as clean air, water, food, medicine, recreation, and inspiration, and whereas nature also supports our physical, mental, and emotional health and well-being, and whereas nature fosters a sense of wonder, awe, and curiosity, and enriches our culture, art, and spirituality, and whereas nature in Aransas County, Texas is a major reason for tourism that draws thousands of short and long-term visitors who account for significant revenue to our community, and whereas it is our collective responsibility and opportunity to protect, restore, and celebrate nature and its gifts to humanity. Now therefore, we, the City Council of the City of Rockport, hereby proclaim the week of March 16th through 23rd, 2024 is Aransas Nature Fest Week, and we urge all citizens and visitors to celebrate, learn, explore, and participate in many of the activities available with our natural environment. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the great seal of the City of Rockport, Texas to be affixed this 12th day of March, 2024. Is there anyone here that was here to help celebrate this proclamation of Nature Week?
I think they have gotten lost, but I mean,
If they
yeah,
show
I
up,
can accept it.
Mike will get a picture.
So I can take a picture and accept it.
All right.
Yes, I'm not sure where they got lost.
Okay. We'll go around here where the flags are, Mike. I will present this thing to council.
Be in your nature suits. That didn't come out. I was actually thinking like a bird or something.
Now, before we do anything business-wise, we will prove that there is a quorum present, although it's just a quorum. Ward 1 is not here tonight. Ward 2?
Here.
Ward 3 is not here tonight. Ward 4?
Here.
Mayor here. We do have a quorum. We will proceed with doing business now. First item on the agenda is a consent agenda. We have nobody, by the way, who signed anything saying that they planned on speaking on a subject not on the agenda. There not being one, I'll go ahead. All consent agenda items listed are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. Be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Does anyone wish to have anything removed?
No, I make a motion to approve all consent agenda as read.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Any further question? If not, we'll call for a vote. Ward 2?
Aye.
Ward 4?
Aye.
Mayor, aye, it's unanimous. I'm going to take the prerogative of the chair and move an item up on the agenda from item 13, which will deal with financial report, will come next. So item we're calling is deliberate and act on presentation and acceptance of annual comprehensive financial report for the city of Rockport for fiscal year 2021, 2022. Yes, sir. Mr. Sorrell.
Again, this is the 2022 audit. We still have the 2023 to go. We're playing catch up, clean up and catch up. I'd like to introduce Mr. Patrick Hall. He will be presenting the 2022 audit for deliberation acceptance. He has over 25 years of experience specializing in the field of audit and holds current CPA licenses in both Colorado and Texas. For the 2022 audit, Mr. Hall will be presenting as an associate of Park Fowler and Company, who council agreed to use for as external auditor. Park Fowler is a full-service accounting firm located in Corpus Christi, and this is, I believe, the second audit this firm has performed for the city of Rockport.
Good evening. As Robbie mentioned, I'm here to present the audit report for 2022. And I'll be brief. I'll give you mainly if you turn to page 1, and if you have a copy of the audit report, I believe you do, which it's the page with the Park Fowler letterhead on it. This piece of the report is the firm's. This is where we're issuing our report. The rest of the audit report is the city's. I mean, so the information was, the numbers and everything were provided by the city, and the city and its management's responsible for those financial statements. So the first pages 1 through 3 are the opinion on the financial statements. So we're issuing an unmodified opinion on the financial statements, which means we believe that as presented, they're fairly stated. So it's a clean opinion. It's what you want. It's the best opinion you can have. So the first 2 paragraphs talk about, the first paragraph on this report tells you which financial statements we're putting the opinion on. Second paragraph is where it tells you it's an unmodified opinion. And then the other paragraphs in here, there's one that's a basis for our opinion. It's basically telling you that there's professional standards we follow in conducting the audit, and it gives you an idea of the level of assurance that we're putting on the financial statements. So it's telling you that we believe they're fairly stated, but there might be immaterial differences, but there's nothing that we believe that's, or we believe the statements are fairly presented. It also talks about responsibilities of management, which I just mentioned, is that the city's, essentially responsible for the numbers portion. And then there's several other paragraphs towards the end, and they're talking about, in your report, you have a section that's called the MD&A, which is management discussion and analysis. So it's a brief analysis of the numbers. We look through that and we verify the numbers are accurate and everything in it, but we're not actually putting an opinion on that piece of the report. And then if you get to the financial statements, which are on pages 13 through 28, these are the main statements that we're putting our opinion on. And then, so then after page 28, starting at 29 through 55 is the notes of the financial statements. And I highly recommend that you take time to read those, because if you have questions as to what the numbers that are being presented, oftentimes you'll find the answer in the notes, because it provides more detail as to what those numbers mean. And then the back section of the report is some required statements related to the pension and the OPEB benefits. Those statements are built basically from the TMRS reports. And then you have a long section that presents what we refer to as the non-major funds. So it's primarily your special revenue funds that are accounted for because there's a specific purpose for that fund. And then we get to pages 71 and 73. And these are two more opinion pages. And these are related to the audit of the federal awards. So the money that you get from like FEMA or CDBG, which is the source of those funds are federal. And so there's what we refer to as a single audit, and we put an opinion on those. We have unmodified opinion on both of those reports, but we did have a finding in that, and the findings related to the turnover in staff, and it was just that the report's going to be late, and unfortunately, we have to report it as a finding. So it's not, to be honest with you, it's not an uncommon finding. So that's kind of a quick overview of the financial statements. The piece to keep in mind is unmodified opinion or clean opinion on the financial statements. And then I also have another letter, which Robbie has, and it's basically just telling you, or communicating to you that we didn't have any difficulties in terms of working with staff and completing the audit. Everything we requested, they provided to us. We didn't have any disagreements on how items were recorded, or what we refer to as generally accepted accounting principles. So the transactions that are recorded were recorded properly in compliance with generally accepted accounting principles. Any adjustments or misstatements, that's not really the right word, but there were audit adjustments, but every one that we proposed was made with, we discussed them and they were made, so everything's been recorded, and that's why we could see that statements are fairly presented. And then we have the other matters piece in that, and again, it discusses the finding related to the federal awards, and it's essentially that the report is going to be filed late to the clearinghouse. It's required to be filed within 9 months of year end, and since it's 22, it's fairly late, but we just had to let you know that there was that finding. So that's a quick overview of the financial statements and the audit report. If you've got a clean opinion, that's what I think you want to hear. Any questions?
So just to be clear, I think the biggest finding was just because it's the late, because of staff overturn.
Right, yeah, so I guess I should have mentioned that too. So the lateness of the report was clearly all due to, right, we were actually scheduled to come in and get the audit started, right, like mid-February of 23, and then that's right when basically the finance and accounting staff left, right, and so there was nobody there. So that's what led to the delay. But as soon as the positions were filled, the staff worked diligently to get the numbers and get everything caught up and get it to me. So we're working, they're still working hard. We're getting ready to get started on doing the 23 audit.
So just to be clear, finance and accounting did not clear out, and there were no employees. We had a director turnover, and then our comptroller left for a couple of months and came back as well. Back. So
yeah, it was the primary.
it wasn't a clear evacuation of all finance staff, as it kind of sounded.
Well, yeah, no, but it was, from my perspective, it was the points of contact that I work with primarily. So yes, the finance director and then the accountant. So, but got full, or pretty close to full staff now, and it seems like everything's getting, the process of getting caught up.
Getting some traction.
Yes,
absolutely.
They're doing great.
Yes, absolutely.
May I point out, if there's no questions, may I point out a couple of things?
No, the only comment I was gonna add is just, I appreciate y'all's diligence to get this done. I know making sure it was done right was important, and you coming on, Robbie, I mean, I'm sure this was a great reflective exercise for you to kind of see where we're at and where we need to go moving forward for any potential internal improvements.
Yes, and there's always something somewhere. We come across stuff periodically. It's part of it. It's the way it works. But, wanted to point out, if I could, in the audit on page 20 or electronic page 150 with the agenda or packet, excuse me, as presented for the 2022 audit, the general fund balance fell $943,671 from 2021 to a balance of $3,510,999. So we dropped almost $1 million in fund balance, and if I back into it just using that number, that represents about 116 days of operating coverage, and I know we're really, financial policies, we're trying to get 180. So I just wanted to say that, and we still have the 2023 audit to do. So, and I don't have any reason to think that we wouldn't experience probably something similar. There's nothing to point to the contrary. So I just wanted to say, and say for 2024, we've implemented hard budget checks, which we didn't have before. So this should help with the 2024 year. But again, we've lost ground, and it's just a matter of time until the next hurricane comes through. So just as we're easing into the budget season, it's just something to be thinking about as we start these discussions. So I just wanted to add that. That's all I really had to say. You're good.
They've worked so hard to get us a good product, and I hope they get the 2023 done fast so we can find out kind of a better position for ourselves. Being a couple years behind, we're not working with real accurate data as we go forward. So these guys have just been really busting their butts, and they've done a great job. We're going to do it right now.
And that's kind of my one question. Do you have like an estimate that you'll have the budget? Do you think you'll have at least the rough numbers for the budget season this year coming up?
We had to do that last year as well.
We'll have somewhere to start.
We'll
have somewhere to start.
Try.
Okay.
If we can get the 2023, it would be even more firm than an estimate.
Whatever you have in mind, it's not enough. We don't have it.
That's
Cut it.
It has been the city's effort for years to try to keep 6 months reserve, and it is to me, a very worrisome thing to be significantly below that. And I think it's going to be a tough budget year anyway, but we're going to have to look seriously at finding a way to increase our reserves. And I don't look forward to those arguments, but I see it coming. Thank you, appreciate it. We knew the audit was running late. We knew that y'all were having trouble getting folks to do it and like that. You didn't have staff. But I thank you for getting it into us. I'm glad that we are in good shape in at least one area. But thank you for your time and for your effort.
okay. Staff recommends a motion to accept.
I make a motion to approve the
Yes, sir.
the 2021-2022 financial report for the city of Rockport.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any further question? We'll call for a vote. Ward 2.
Aye.
Ward 4.
Aye.
Mayor, aye, it's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Robbie can breathe again.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, his budget season get through.
Until tomorrow.
2023, already working on it right now.
All right. Next item on the agenda, deliberate and act on resolution of the City of Rockport suspending the April 4th, 2024 effective date for AEP Texas Inc.'s requested rate change to permit the city time to study the request to establish reasonable rates, approving cooperation with the cities served by AEP Texas and authorizing intervention in AEP Texas Inc. requested rate change proceedings before the commission, hiring Lloyd Gosselink attorneys and consulting services to negotiate with the company and direct any necessary litigation and appeals requiring reimbursement of cities' rate case expense, finding that the meeting which the resolution is passed is open to the public as required by law and requiring notice of the resolution to the company and legal counsel. Mr. Sorrell.
A little background on this. The city, on the February 29th, the city received a letter from AEP speaking to an application or statement of intent having been filed to increase System-wide, the distribution rate, implementation of a 13.10% system-wide distribution rate increase and a 9.29% system-wide transmission rate increase. The next day, we received a letter from Thomas Bracco of the Lloyd Gosling firm. They do a lot of regulatory work, and they said that they had filed a motion to intervene, basically, and he sent a letter saying that if we don't intervene, that these rates go into effect automatically on April 4th, I believe, is when it was. So they said that they're already representing the city of McAllen. They offered, does the city of Rockport, would they like to participate as well? It's cheaper if you do this as a group than if you do it one-on-one. And so basically what this is doing is that it's asking for a resolution that we can send that we want to participate in this intervene. The Gosling firm will not only handle these discussions and this, I forgot what they called that, with this motion to intervene, but they can also negotiate on our behalf as well to try to get lower rates for the people participating. So that's what we're asking is for the I'm drawing a blank on it, resolution, to approve the resolution so that then we can notify the PUC and Gosling that they can represent us.
We're basically joining a consortium to protest the proposed rates. It's very common in utilities or anything working with state agencies for the smaller cities to join together and have one firm represent them. I don't know specifically what Lloyd Gosling is going to charge us. I don't think there's anything.
There's no, yes. Yeah.
But it's not uncommon, and I think it's in our best interest. I've spoken with our current city attorney, and he thinks that it's best that we have Lloyd Gosling represent us as well, because they're basically going to be speaking for everybody in the area.
All right. There is a representative here from AEP that drove over here from Cal Allen, and if you've got time and energy, would like to come up and say a few words, you're welcome.
So my name is Heath Van Zant, work for AEP in our customer service group, and I'd like to thank everyone's time today. And I'm just here in case anyone has any particular questions. Bring them back to our external affairs group to consider and look at and return an answer back if you have anything. But looks like you're already going to be taking action to suspend the item. And that was one that we were going to recommend, either suspending or denying, so that it goes up to the PUC like you stated. So that's about all I have.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, sir, not that I know of. We appreciate you driving over. I'm glad you're here. And
Thank you very much.
Thank
for
you.
your time. Heath, H-E-A-T-H, Van Zandt, V-A-N-Z-A-N-D-T. Thank you.
all right, that's
Thanks,
the
everyone.
motion to approve resolution.
I'll make the motion to approve agenda item 8 as presented.
All right,
Second.
have a motion and a second. Any further question? If not, we'll call for a vote. Ward 2,
Aye.
Ward 4.
Aye.
Mayor, aye. Unanimous. Item number 9, deliberate and act on second final reading of an ordinance amending the official zoning map as stipulated in Article 4.1 of the City of Rockport zoning ordinance number 1027 by changing the zoning of land from R2 second single-family dwelling district for property located at 202 East Cornwall, also known as East 1/2 of Lot 8, all of Lot 9, Block 13, Hunter subdivision to B1 General Business District, repealing all ordinances in conflict therewith, providing for severability, providing for an effective date. This is the second reading. Have there been any changes?
No changes.
Okay, no changes. Any question from the council? Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve agenda item number 9 as presented.
Have a motion, do I have a
I'll do
second?
a second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further question? We'll call for a vote. Ward 2,
Aye.
Ward 4.
Aye.
Mayor, aye. It's unanimous. Item number 10, deliberate and act on second and final reading of an ordinance of the City of Rockport declaring unopposed candidates for May 24, 2024 City General Election elected to office, canceling Saturday, May 4th, 2024 Mayor at Large, Council Member Ward 2, Council Member Ward 4 elections, and finding and declaring that the meeting at which the ordinance is adopted was open to the public, that the public notice of time, place, and the subject matter of the public business to be considered was posted as required by law, including this ordinance. Ms. Henry? Right. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion to accept item number 10 as presented, gladly.
Do I have a second?
Second. I feel weird seconding that, though.
That is a weird one. I do have a quick, just, I guess, question. Under the financial analysis, the $75 cancellation fee, everything else would be cost savings. Do we know what that dollar amount was-ish for cancellation? How much? 35?
Budgeted 25,000.
Or 25? Okay. Thank you. No further.
All right. I have a motion and a second. If there's no further question. I call for a vote. Ward 2?
Aye.
Ward 4?
Aye.
Mayor, aye. It's unanimous. Item number 11, deliberate and act on approval of emergency change order for repairs to the east clarifier at the wastewater treatment plant. Mr. Donahoe.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Mayor and council members that are here tonight. This is an emergency change order to our contract for the repairs to the wastewater treatment plant. Prior to issuance of the contract, we had some breakdowns at the wastewater treatment plant. Back in May, we had the other clarifier went down, the rake system went out. And this particular clarifier is the shaft and the bearings and the drives that run the rake in this clarifier that have gone bad on us. We asked the successful bidder for the entire project of the wastewater treatment plant to come in and give us a quote for repairing this clarifier as they mobilize for the entire project. We saved money because we're not paying for them to mobilize. They're coming in already to mobilize for the entire project, so we did save the money there. The repairs amount to $40,250. We believe that this is a very good price for what needs to be done, and it needs to be done immediately. The change order will also add 14 days to the overall project, so it'll take them about 2 weeks to do this. And as we go through the process of the repairs, not only to this clarifier, but to the other components of the wastewater treatment plant, one thing for us to remember as staff and everything is that there are advances in equipment. You know, most of the stuff out there is 35, 40 years old. There are advances in equipment and procedures for preventative maintenance and having a plan in place for future repairs. And as we go through the entire project of the wastewater treatment plant, I'm encouraging the operators to come up with a preventative maintenance program and a capital improvement replacement program for the different components at the wastewater treatment plant. This is something that we've been remiss in the past, and so we're asking tonight for you to approve this change order. If you look at the financials, the way it's broken out, one of the things that we're using is partial unspent bond funds. You remember many times in the last 2 years, we've met and you've encouraged us to get those unspent bond funds off of our books, and I know that finance also appreciates that. So this will total out the unspent bond funds that were allocated to the Public Works Department for public works projects. That's all utilities and drainage and those kinds of things. So this will cancel out all unspent bond funds, and we'll be moving forward away from that. And so we're asking tonight for you to approve the change order in the amount of $40,250 to fix that clarifier.
All right.
So I have two questions for you, Mike. The $39,400 of unspent bond, was that another project that was anticipated and what's not going to get done as a result?
No, ma'am. We had gone through the unspent bond funds several times over the last few months, and when we explained the wastewater treatment plant project, there were some projects that were not going to get done because we didn't have enough money to do those projects. So we used the remainder of the balance in the unspent bond funds to transfer to the wastewater treatment plant project so we could get it done.
So there were things that were contemplated that aren't getting done, but it's the $40,000 not gonna make or break those
Right,
projects.
The
absolutely.
bid
There's,
came in at, we had
Yeah.
budgeted 25 and the bid came in at 95. And
Fair enough,
so
yeah.
we robbed the 25 out of it, so there, he is correct. You are correct, both statements are true. This clears out all of the unspent bond in theirs. I think he said, I think Parks is almost cleared out and they're almost completed with all their projects. So when that's done, I'll give you an update and it'll have what was removed, where it was spent. It's all being spent appropriately within the bond covenants, so we've been sure to go through that and make sure it's all been spent appropriately. But there are some things that you guys voted to do that will not get done, just because of the nature of the economy right now.
Okay. And then the second piece with the change order, are we still within the allowable amount under that contract that we're allowed to change?
Yes.
Without jeopardizing our procurement?
yes,
Okay, because it's number 2, so,
yes.
okay. I'm okay with this. Since this project has commingled with ARPA, I assume we've got some grant requirements that need to be fulfilled to make sure that that's being approved as appropriate.
Administrators on board with the entire change, so.
Right,
it's-
we've
yeah,
got
Judy,
it broken
like-
out
Okay.
to what
So-
can be spun out of the ARPA funds.
Yes, it is a Ferris wheel, but we've got every basket covered
Fair enough.
today.
Always get nervous about our procurement with those federal grants, so.
Same.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Trust the plan. I'm good.
All right,
You asked my question, so we're good.
Oh,
all right.
Okay.
Anything else?
I make a motion to approve agenda item number 10, nope,
11.
11, oh my gosh, okay. Agenda item number 11 as read.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Anything else?
No, sir.
Not, we'll call for a vote. Ward 2,
Aye.
Ward 4,
Aye.
Mayor, aye. It's also unanimous. Everybody has had a problem tonight. I can't even tell what time it is off of that thing down there, and I'm getting all these other things
Spring break,
done.
right?
That's late in the year. All right, item number 12. Discussion of a draft resolution that dissolves the current Stormwater Management Committee and creates a Stormwater Management Technical Committee. Ms. Schreiner.
That's me. So this is just for consideration. There's no action required, but all three of you have attended on some level the Stormwater Management Committee that apparently has been meeting for years, like many years. Maybe one of y'all could give us a number, but I can't, so it predates me. Evidently, they took out some debt previously, and the committee was established to manage that debt payment and things like that. So that committee has fulfilled its usefulness, and now we would like to pivot that into a technical committee. We anticipate the joint drainage plan with the county and the city. And so pivoting the committee to technical people that can make the decisions based on the plan. The proposal right now is for Aransas Pass, the Navigation District, Aransas County, Fulton, and the city of Rockport to all have a seat at the table. So it would kind of be an equal playing field if there were a vote, but it will be comprised of our engineers or our technical people. So that's in there just for you to read. We will have another meeting of the Stormwater Management Committee to vote to push it up to you guys, but I just wanted you to have it in advance of that in case there are questions or concerns. We can work those out and make sure we're going in the direction that you council wishes for us to on that drainage.
It's progress, and,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's progress, so I appreciate the opportunity to get the draft out there and start socializing it with the different groups. I hope everybody's in support of it.
Well, I've been to the last couple of meetings, and you guys have been back and forth with the wording. I know that, I think the wording is just fine. I think it needs to just get out there and get done. You guys, the stormwater meeting, it's a great group of people around community that's trying to do good, and I think it's just to a point where we need to have a group of people that can just talk about it and move it towards people who can actually implement it and get it done. And I think having this committee is gonna have that happen more so than what it has been doing. So
That's
I,
the hope.
yeah, I just really appreciate that y'all moving forward, and I think I'm really excited that we can move to the next step and get past this one little thing that we have to get done.
Just in the year or so that I've been paying attention to the committee, it's like Groundhog Day. Every time I listen in, it seems to be kind of the same issues being brought up without action, which granted, the committee doesn't have the authority to take that action, but I think the technical committee, we have the ability to hold them a little bit more accountable to get things done.
Exactly.
I have attended those meetings for about a year and a half, and they're worthwhile meetings. You have a lot of people, elected officials mostly, that sat and we discussed drainage issues and problems all over the county. And it has been the determination from the folks on that committee that we find a way to prioritize what those problems are and address the ones that are main priority, as opposed to the city trying to do what we can do and the county trying to do what they can do, and Fulton just fighting with what issues they have. And I think that this is a great step in a new direction, especially having people on the committee now who are technically intelligent and experienced and can deal with the issues as opposed to talking about them. We're good at talking about them. I hope they can get those done. And the agreement has, on the face of it, been that we will work together as opposed to separately to try to address these issues. And I think it's a very good plan.
One other thing to point out of this is we are leaving it up to the ultimate technical committee to sort out how they will review items, how they will prioritize items, how, you know, they're gonna make the sausage, and we're gonna let them. So, they're the people that know how to do it. So that's why it's kind of open on that.
And we wanna make sure that they're gonna come up with things that we can, it still comes in front of council. It still comes in front of commissioners. We still have the projects that come in front of us so we can discuss them and understand what's happening. But they're gonna be able to come together with their minds and come to us so we can finally start getting these things done that need to be done for the whole area, not just for one part of each.
What you approve does not change.
Is this the committee that, are they already doing work on, we talked about reviewing the various kind of rules that the different entities are following for floodplain and things like that? Is this committee gonna be tasked with trying to get alignment on all those?
So that hopefully, the hope is that that will come out of the master plan that we will all have input on.
Okay.
Now, I don't think we're too far off. The city has more abilities than the county, so we exercise what we can, but I don't think we're too far off, and I know that our guys already work together in reviewing those things and functionality and things like that. They're, you know, off behind our backs, just making it happen. So I don't think it's gonna be a big adjustment for the people that are gonna be on this committee.
Looking at the nuts and bolts of what the actual ordinances are and the rules we're following, they are very similar. It's just it's a minor philosophy shift between how one entity does it to another, and them spending, I think, more time together is beneficial so that they can find some common ground on that, because clearly we've got the same goals in mind.
Yep.
It's good. Today's just no action today, correct?
No.
No action, just read it over, get your questions to me. We'll answer them as best we can.
Right.
That's it.
Thank you.
Item number 14, city manager report.
The only report I have is I will be out Thursday and Friday, so there will be no Friday report.
Well, all right. We have on the agenda, I guess the next thing we have is report from council.
Well, Vanessa, if we can Mike give us an update on stage 2? I know we had a.
Absolutely, that happened
Thank you.
today. He can do that as a city manager's report.
Because we have to follow by ordinance the city of Corpus Christi and San Patricio Municipal Water District. And the city of Corpus Christi had a news conference this morning, and they have changed to stage 2 water restrictions. And this is the first time since June 14, 2022 that we've had to go to stage 2. The only difference is that you're only allowed to water once every other week instead of every week. And the watering schedule remains the same: Tuesday for even-numbered houses, Wednesday for odd-numbered houses, and Thursday is for multifamily and commercial. And, you know, the same thing Watering is prohibited from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can always water with a handheld hose, as long as you're controlling that hose and everything else. You can do that during this stage of water restrictions. We also notified TCEQ, and we notified our wholesale customers, the 2 water systems that we sell water to, and have notified them. So we're in compliance with all the TCEQ regulations and our commitment to working with San Patricio Municipal Water District and the City of Corpus Christi. Do you have any other questions?
If residents have concerns about maybe a neighbor who's not following, what would you recommend?
They can call the Public Works Department. Normally what we did, and it's been, like I said, it's been back in 2022, but we do have all of our crews. We ask all of our crews that are out in the city, that's code enforcement, police officers, all of our utility crews that are out throughout the city, throughout the day and night, to write down the addresses if they find someone watering off schedule, and we can send them notification that it's been indicated that they've been watering off schedule, and just remind them of complying. And if it comes down to it, if we have, repeat offenders, if your neighbor waters every day and you call us and we go visit your neighbor, and you call us again and we go visit your neighbor, we do have the ability to go out and cite. That's the last thing we want to do. Education comes first and then enforcement. So we're hoping that we can educate our public to pay attention. We're not in a drought, so to speak. The only issues that we have is there's been no rain in the watershed. In the coastal Bend, Corpus Christi, Rockport area, we're not identified as being in a drought. In fact, we're about an inch above our annual rainfall. But the watershed where our drinking water comes from, that's where the issues are. And so the combined lake levels drop below 30%, and that's the trigger for stage 2, and that's where we are today.
Thank you. Guess at the end of the day, the water meter doesn't lie.
No, it does not.
Good.
Reports from council.
Mr. Matt Anderson is here, and very enthusiastic about him coming to join this team. And as I reported before, I'm definitely going to miss my time here on council, and going to keep working hard until the end. But just want to thank you for being here, Matt, and welcome to the group here soon, very soon.
Andrew?
Please attend Aransas Nature Fest. It's all week. A lot of the Aransas Pathway sites have a lot of events going on and speakers, and they've been working really hard on getting this done. It's too much activities for me to even go over, so please just look them up and you can figure it out. But it'll be a lot of fun. I don't think anything else from my ward right now, but pretty quiet.
On Saturday.
Thank you, Jean. Yes, but they've been working hard on it.
Saturday was eventful. The hooping crane strut went on, and they had 300 and some odd people got out and walked, ran. Nobody passed out and that kind of thing.
Me and Jean did good
Jean
job.
was the only injury.
The town of Fulton had an oyster fest, and some of us were in their parade. It was kind of windy out there and cool, but it was a nice parade. There were a lot of people out there, and a lot of kids snatching up candy off the side of the street. That Oyster Fest is a very important thing to our community, and I will help promote Fulton. That if it wasn't for that Oyster Fest, their volunteer fire department would have serious problems every year. It's difficult having volunteer fire departments, and people don't realize how expensive fire departments are till you start trying to buy equipment. I was told that an equipment that just the uniforms and that you would wear to a fire for a fireman is something over $3,000. And that's for volunteers that they have to pay for. There's a lot of cost involved in that, and that is a tremendous asset the Oyster Fest is to the fire department of Fulton, and we appreciate what they do because they answer fire calls all over the county. So we appreciate them. Other than that, I don't have anything else. There is no need for the executive session we called for. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We're adjourned. It is 7:14.
Good
I know what
job,
time it
Mayor.
is now.